At the outset, I would like to thank AIOS Scientific Committee for giving me this opportunity to share my thought process regarding the medical therapy of the glaucoma. Actually, when we think about any cases related to suspicion of glaucoma, our thought wheel is work like this. First, we need to find out whether to treat or not, and then if we think that we need to treat this patient, set the target intraocular pressure. Following that, the which modality to start with, and whenever the IOP is achieving target intraocular pressure, whether there is any need of change of plan. So to think of the which medicine to start with, we always think of the medicine which is maximum effective and reasonable amount of safety and tolerable to the patient. At the same time, the dosing schedule should be convenient to the patient. Which drug to start with, we need to consider four things. One is the type of glaucoma, age of the patient, if the patient is having any systemic disease, and the ocular condition. Considering the type of glaucoma, like if the patient is having NTG, normal tension glaucoma, we like to prefer bitoxolol rather than the timolol. In case of uveitic glaucoma, the pilocarpine is contraindicated, and the prostaglandin is controversial. Probably we will not think about the first line medicine as prostaglandin. In case of neovascular or traumatic glaucoma, the pilocarpine is better to be avoided. And in angle closure glaucoma, we usually avoid brimonidine because it has got some pupil dilating effect. In age of the patient, the pilocarpine is not preferable in younger patient. Beta blocker is contraindicated in the neonates because of the apnea. Beta blocker is not preferable in the young male, probably thinking about the loss of libido as a side effect. Brimonidine is contraindicated in children because of the psychotic effect. If the patient is already using antipsychotic medications, brimonidine is contraindicated. Even the patient is having asthma, we can think of bitoxolol, but it still has some risk. If the patient is already on beta blocker, sometimes the beta blocker, topical beta blocker also works well. In ocular condition, pilocarpine should be avoided in myopia. And if the patient is already having viral keratitis or the past history of viral keratitis, it is better to avoid prostaglandin. Always we think of initial monotherapy, whatever be the intraocular pressure, but in case of the high intraocular pressure, we want to combine with short course of oral acetazolamide to take down the pressure so that the drug penetration improves. If we start a monotherapy, there may be three conditions that we can have three conditions. One, with initial monotherapy, the IOP is at target level, or initial monotherapy has got some satisfactory reduction, but we cannot achieve the target intraocular pressure. And sometimes the poor response of initial monotherapy or the therapy is not well tolerated by the patient. If the IOP is at the target level, definitely stay on the initial monotherapy. But in case of satisfactory reduction, but not achieving target intraocular pressure or poor response, we can think of second medicines or switch to another monotherapy. But to know whether there is satisfactory reduction or the poor response, we need to know the efficacy of each drug. Like beta blockers 20 to 25%, pilocarpine 20 to 25%, prostaglandin is also about 25 to 30%. So we need to know the efficacy, average efficacy of all the medications. Like if the patient is having 29 millimeter of mercury pressure, and if we set the target as 20 millimeter of mercury, if we start with Vimatroprost, the IOP achieved up to 20 millimeter mercury. So the IOP achieved at the target level, we will be on the initial monotherapy and continue the initial monotherapy. But if we initiate beta blockers, the intraocular pressure from 29 came down to 22, it's almost 7 millimeter, but it's not giving the proper, it's giving the proper reduction like 20 to 25%, almost 6 or more than millimeter of mercury. So it has got satisfactory reduction, but still not achieving target intraocular pressure. So we will think of adding a second agent. But if we think that we initiate with the beta blocker and from 29, the intraocular pressure came down to 26, just 3 millimeter, it has got not the proper efficacy, And in this case, probably I will think that the poor response with the beta blocker, so we can think of switching to another monotherapy. This is the thought process we usually work with, but always keep in mind to compare the efficacy call at the same time of the day. The patient should be called at the same time of the day. Some points, if we add drugs with different, add any drugs, we always think of adding drugs with different mechanism. Like if we add beta blocker, something else, then definitely it is better to add something prostamide or prostaglandin rather than carbonic anhydrase inhibitor. So this is just the addition. Always think that efficacy is lower when added than the individual monotherapy, and combined formulation is preferable than separate medications. If addition is not effective, then substitute the second medication, not the first medications. And consider always washout period. What is washout period? You should always know the washout period of each and every medication. So to get the efficacy of the another medications, you need to call the patient after the washout period being over. In case of the fixed dose combination rather than the variable dose combination, fixed dose combination means same bottle, multiple medications as opposed to different medications. The benefits are many, like avoidance of potential for washout of the first drug, reduce the number of the eye drops, and low cost, as well as the reduced exposure to preservative. But always think of the fixed dose combination may be less efficacious than having the lower side effects. The other 2 points, like dorzolamide timolol fixed dose combination provides better 24 hours efficacy than brimonidine timolol. And the another point is, in case of the brinzolamide brimonidine combination, it is non-inferior to the separate medications. Considering the genetic versus branded, 2 points to highlight. A study with the latanoprost, intraocular pressure lowering effect of the brand name drug is better than corresponding generic drug. But this is probably because of the adjuvant, because the stability of the active ingredients changes, pH changes. So probably the efficacy is related to that. The newer medications, there are 3 I just want to highlight. One is the latroprostin Bunod. The another is combination of latroprostin Bunod and the prostaglandin derivatives, and netarsudil. Latroprostin Bunod is a nitric oxide donating PG analog, thereby increasing the trabecular meshwork facility of outflow. In combination with the latroprostin Bunod, the prostaglandin increases the uvascular outflow. The combined effect is better. Netarsudil is a Rho kinase inhibitor, and it decreases the intraocular pressure by increasing trabecular meshwork outflow, decreasing episcleral venous pressure, as well as decreasing aqueous humor production. Few points just to add, that the combination of effectiveness and the tolerability of prostaglandin derivatives becomes the most popular first choice drug. Pilocarpine still play a significant role in specific types of glaucoma, and with careful monitoring, you can use beta blocker even in the cardiopulmonary conditions. And the patient compliance should be always assessed prior to switching or adding new therapy. There are some common issues I want to highlight. First line drug, it can be beta blocker, prostaglandin, but pilocarpine always in case of the acute ACG. Considering the beta blocker, we can use timolol or betaxolol, but timolol is more efficacious than betaxolol, and the dosing schedule of timolol once daily is equal to twice daily dosing schedule. In case of the alpha agonist, probably we use mostly on brimonidine. It can be both BID and TID dose with equal efficacy. In case of the hyperosmotics, except the mannitol, we also use the oral glycerol. Mannitol, always you need to give it rapidly within 30 minutes to get the maximum effect, and at the same time, just you should restrict the oral fluids. Glycerol for longer use, but it less efficacious than the mannitol and less cardiac overload and unpalatable. So you need to mix with the fruit juice, and special caution in diabetes. Prostaglandin, considering the latanoprost and bimatoprost, bimatoprost may have better efficacy, but it has having the more side effects. The preservation, as we know, latanoprost need refrigeration, but bimatoprost no need. In Indian latanoprost, efficacy is lower than Zalatan, and no need of refrigeration after opening. Single dose vial, always patient ask how long to use. I always tell them that they can use continuously as long as the vial persists. These are the thought process I just want to share with you. Thank you for your patient hearing.